not too bad on it. But let's look at this a little bit closer. Look at the gap over here in the hinge. See, that's a nice gap there. Now let's see, we've got that same gap at the top of the door. Here the gap goes a little bit bigger. See here, look how big it is here. That's pretty big. So that tells me I can adjust that hinge, can't I? I can suck the hinge, those set screws in further, and then I'll take that door and pull it that way. And there is enough room to do that. When I do that, that's going to lift this end, this edge up, and it's going to lift it away from the side here. Now see the gap on the side? That's fine actually on an exterior door, but for this certain circumstance, we've got to raise it up a little bit. And look at the gap at the bottom. See how big that gap is? That's because the door has sagged down, and it's sagging right down on the floor. So at the bottom, once I adjust the top screw hinge, I'm going to pull that together. That's going to push this over because there's 4 hinges and all of them have adjustments. If I adjust the top 3 or 4 screws, you know, loosen the screws. On mine, I had to loosen the top screw where that little Allen wrench was. I didn't have an Allen wrench, I had a little screw. And at the bottom, I had to tighten it up. Tighten it would take this and push it over. So I could push that over, and I can because there's plenty of gap here. That's going to raise that up. So I can push this one over. I can screw these screws in 2 or 3 turns, and I can, because there's 4 hinges here, I can do this one screw in, let's say, and then the top I'm going to unscrew those little set screws, and that's going to suck that together. So if I unscrew that hinge and pull it together, that means if I unscrew that 2 or 3 turns, let's say 3 or 4 turns up there, I could do this one turn, unscrew, 1 turn tighten, 3 screws tighten. You see what I'm saying? That's going to take this whole thing, and I'm going to move the door over to the right. That's going to raise that up, and I'm going to move that hinge over to the left, and that's going to move that up. Do you see what I'm saying? We got that box. You just think of the door as a square. If you tilt it, and that's on the axis right there, that's going to lift up that edge. That's going to lift this edge up and push it to the right a little bit. That's going to take that and push it to the right a little bit. You see what I'm saying? So that is what I'm going to do. And I may be able to get by with adjusting this entire door just by the top 2 hinges, by pulling the top of the door that way. We'll do that first, and then if I have to tweak this over to the left, I will. Okay, and then that should let this door fit properly. Now I don't want to. How else could I have fixed it? I could have shaved off the top edge of that and shaved off the bottom edge of that one. Okay, because as you lift that, well, remember this fits up over the top, and that's what's kind of hitting. So actually, I told you that wrong. I could have reamed out the bottom of that one and reamed out the top of that one. Let's say, no, I can see where it's been hitting. I'd ream out the bottom of that one and the top of this one. But I don't want to do that. That could fix the old door, but it's still going to be rubbing at the bottom, so I don't want to do that. Okay, I want to get this where it was from before, and I've got a set of Allen wrenches, and I like these. It comes in a 2-pack. It's from Husky. Okay, and these are standard Allen wrench sizes, and these are metric. Did you know they had metric and standard? These are the metrics, and every once in a while I'll have to use a metric for some reason. Well, today, luckily, it's the standard. Okay, and so I'm gonna remember what I'm gonna do here, and see, here's those little set screws right there. And I got the right little Allen wrench to fit in there, see? And you can loosen or tighten that, okay? And on, remember the top two, I'm gonna loosen that and that's gonna pull it together. If you're having a question, okay, which one is it? Do I tighten it? Do I loosen it? Do it one way, open and close the door. Do it the other way, open and close the door. And you'll figure out which is which. Now in my particular instance, it was loosening those top two hinges. And so that's what I'm gonna do. Have I done this on this door before? Absolutely not. I did the one at my house and it worked. And I believe this one is going to work as well. Okay. So I'm gonna loosen this, and these screws, wow, it's hardly anything here. And hopefully this will work the same way as the one I did at my house. Now if it doesn't, you see it's almost like there's another screw that should fit in between there, and the screw's not there. I don't know what the deal is with that. We're just gonna see, I don't know if anything is happening with those. I'm gonna tighten these two down here. Make a liar out of me. Or maybe I have to do them the very opposite or something, but we'll see. We'll see what happens here. It's almost like those screws are tight. There should be an actual give on that. Like on the top ones, when I loosen those screws, it should be to where I can back it off, and then I should be able to start feeling it. As I'm loosening it, it's actually tightening it, so to speak. So I'll have to get back up there and see, because it almost seemed like these top two hinges were loosening up too far. But see, it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. Huh. Not quite sure. Almost like I think there should be another screw in between that whoever installed these, somehow the screw got out, because that's the one that you tighten or loosen, and that kind of sucks that in. And then these other set screws are probably something that you tighten those up after you get the middle screw adjusted. I'm thinking that's what that is, because there's no pressure on these at all. When I'm backing them out, I should have a pressure on them. Okay. So, geez, in hindsight, my whole theory, well, my theory is correct. I think they just don't have the screws in there. There should be other screws in there, and I'm not sure why they're not in there. I don't think I've really done much of anything on this door. See, it's still rubbing. Isn't that something? That's how those are supposed to work. That is really wacko. Those are supposed to be in there. I think I just found something that the installer didn't put in there. They did not put those screws in there. No siree. Okay, so hopefully your particular door that you have, it's got your set screws. This one, not so much. No set screws at all. So me tightening and loosening this is not doing a darn bit of good at all. Oh, that's a shame. I'm gonna have to shine a flashlight in there, but I sure don't see like a little Allen set screw in the middle of that, or anything for that matter. But I'll shine a light up in there, because that's in the middle is where you should be doing the adjustments.